I pulled it out, and there's a Blockbuster previously viewed sticker on this DVD.
Oh.
Like I bought it from Blockbuster Video previously viewed.
That's amazing.
That's like, it might have been one of the last DVDs I bought from them previously viewed.
I bought Natural Born Killers previously viewed on VHS.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, but this
I think I still have my Blockbuster card somewhere.
Oh yeah.
With all of its terrible lamination.
Frame it.
Yeah, it was very much like a big company that put zero effort into their cards.
So I was thinking about this movie, and I don't know what you guys think about it, but I didn't really remember much of the story. I just remembered a lot of the visuals from this film.
Yep.
And I looked up the DP, the cinematographer, and it's Philippe Rousselot. And he won an Oscar for River Runs Through It, which is a beautiful movie.
Would it be Rousselot?
Rousselot.
French?
Yeah, maybe. Rousselot. Rousselot. Oh, goodness gracious. And then
every name is going to have an option tonight.
Yeah.
Philippe Rousselot.
Yeah. And he also did Interview with the Vampire. He did a Fantastic Beasts movies. He did Big Fish. He worked on 3 Burton movies, which you're a good cinematographer if you work with Burton.
Just paintings on film.
Yeah.
He did the YA classic Beautiful Creatures.
He did Beautiful. I think that movie's fun. And he also did I love the look of River Runs Through It. So this cinematographer, and when I was listening to the commentary, I don't know how much you guys listened to it, but Akiva Goldsman kept making fun of Francis Lawrence, who also did like Red Sparrow and Hunger Games 2 through 4. And I Am Legend. He would say, that's a Francis Lawrence shot. He was kind of making fun of him. So I looked up Francis Lawrence's filmography, and this is going to blow your mind, Adam. He did Skater Boy music video.
Oh, he did a ton of music videos.
Full circle.
Yes, full circle. Full circle.
Happening.
My description of him literally says Hunger Games, I Am Legend, music videos.
I mean, he did Backstreet Boys, P.O.D.
Did he do Gwen Stefani?
Gwen Stefani, Green Day, Britney Spears,
but that's
Jennifer
how he
Lawrence.
Met Gavin Rossdale.
He did Will Smith music videos. So before I Am Legend, this guy.
Right.
So you see these shots of his, and just the color palette that they went for. But there's a lot of very stylish shots in this film that even though I probably hadn't watched it in 10 years, so I remember a lot of these shots.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird angles.
Well, a lot of the shots were taken panel right out of the graphic novel.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of those, like, shot for shot homages.
I can see that. The weird angles, up, down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the scene of him smoking at the cafe table, the one of him with like the jar on the spider, the one of him looking at the blinds in the windows from the back of his head. Like those are all just like shots right from the comic book.
Oh wow, okay. Well, at least he has enough visual sense to capture that.
Yeah. No, so this came out at a weird time for comic book movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were getting steam, they were getting to the area where they were good, but they weren't like the blockbusters they are yet. So like we're coming off the heels of like Fantastic Four, and like the X2 had come out.
Spider-Man 2, right?
Spider-Man 2. So like we had Batman Begins, but we didn't have Superman Returns yet. So they were getting there, but this is also the same year Sin City came out.
Yeah.
So
hyper stylized.
Hyper stylized, but that's I think 2005, 2006, I think was the era where they stopped being scared to just do what was in the comic book.
Yeah.
Right, to just go for it, not to make it like, because with like X-Men, they're like, no one's going to buy these ridiculous suits, so we're going to put them in black leather suits because people will buy that. This was, I think, the beginning of the era of like, let's just do the material that people want. But the comic book fans tore this apart because Keanu Reeves, the 2 reasons they hated it, he didn't have blonde hair and he didn't have a British accent.
Yeah, I saw that in literally every publication, and then in the different interviews, Keanu starts to address that. Okay, yeah, what we would change are these things. But I think you're right about the fact that they were moving into this different kind of realm for the production look and feel. I found a couple of articles on the cinematography, and they said that they wanted it to be like a slightly enhanced reality created with colors and costumes and gels to make the light a little bit more green and cayenne.
Hey, I mean, you can see the red, right? You can see the green.
Yep.
Yeah,
everything feels dirty in this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, they said that overall look was supposed to be saturated and beautiful, but gritty.
And I was thinking about this the other day. I hate faux gritty. So in my film class, I showed my students the trailers for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I showed them Friday the 13th. Then I showed them the trailers for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th remakes, which some people really like, but the originals, in 78 and 80, I believe, for Friday the 13th, they were so gritty, and they looked like they were just filmed in mud. But these new ones look very glossy, and I liked how this movie, it feels gritty. It does. You're right. Absolutely right, Meg. It feels gritty. And also, the director says he wishes he would have cast someone who was blonde, and...
Yeah, looking back on it.
Yeah, but he also said, I love Keanu. And he said Keanu's amazing. So I think Keanu, so whenever people say Keanu Reeves can't act, I mean, there's obviously other movies, but for some reason, I just go Constantine. And then they go, it's Constantine. And I go, shut up. But,
I thought you headlocked.
Yeah. I did say,
we had Keanu Reeves doing a British accent in a movie called Dracula.
Yeah.
And it's best that he doesn't do a British accent in movies.
So we did that.
I think halfway.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's one of our biggest podcasts. And in that thing, Francis Ford Coppola said, I love Keanu so much, I felt bad giving him more bad direction because he was trying so hard. So now when I hear people making fun of Keanu, I'm like, he was just so nice and he was trying. And Coppola felt bad. I guess I'm a big time Keanu apologist.
Yeah, but it's almost like halfway through that movie, they're like, just drop the accent, no one cares. Like,
yeah, get it over with.
by the end, he's Bill and Ted by the end.
Whoa! But this movie, though, when people say he can't act, I don't know who would say that, but you show them. I'm like, watch Constantine because he does, and I love his kind of humor in this. I love his dry humor. I love the way he pulls things. Like, he sells this movie really well.
Well, what's the first line he says to the Rachel Weisz's character? He's
about the elevator?
Getting on the elevator? It's dynamite.
Yeah. Going down?
She said, hold the elevator, and I don't remember. What was the line?
No, or something. I will not.
No, she said, are you going down? And he says, most likely. Or she said some pun about hell, and it's just perfect.
Oh, he said, not if I could help it. Hold the door. Not if I could help it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's just like, he's just unapologetic. Like, again, I think it's a testament to the character he's playing, but he's almost not concerned with regular people problems. He's got bigger things going on.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, he's not. Nothing really. I mean, he does have bigger things going on.
Like, he just fought a soldier demon that tried to break through, which they're not supposed to be able to do. And then she's worried about an elevator. Like, well, no, you take the next elevator. That's not part of something I'm worrying about right now. I got a screeching beetle in my pocket. I don't need to worry about.
So I thought he was very funny. I mean, there were definitely that visual cue with the billboard about.
Oh, it's something about smoking, or it's
something
the end.
No, it's you're running out of time.
Yeah, I mean,
to own a new Chevrolet.
Yeah. There were some funny bits in there. There was one interview in Inverse where the director said that it lacked Constantine's dry wit, but I thought they did a pretty good job.
It had the sassy flick off. It had the comments with his duel with Satan. I think there was. So I don't really get. People say it needed more humor, but I felt like there was enough in this movie.
So I think, all in all, like, this movie, I think it's had a great balance of humor because it's not a funny movie. Like, it's not there's some serious things going on in it. So if they were cutting wise the whole time, like, I wouldn't buy that. But I think he's almost he's almost satirical and like dead to what he's doing, right? And there's the whole flip of the whole thing where he's like, all the things that I've beaten, all the things that I've seen, and I'm gonna die to this. And he holds up a cigarette, so he's almost like indignant with like the physical world we live in.
Yeah.
So I think the humor balance is great, but like, I think Keanu plays this like perfect in that he's walking this fine line between, I have to exist with humans, but I more than often don't interact with them. Like, he goes to the library and talks to Gabriel, the archangel, right? Juxtaposed against Rachel Weisz talking to like the priest about her sister's funeral. So he's not on a regular playing field, so he can't act and interact that way. It would just be weird. He has Beeman, his Q. He has Hennessy, played by PTV,
and then Chaz. So he has a very small clique that he rolls with.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that bit with Chaz and moving the car, gold.
Yeah. You know what scene? Do you know why they did the mirror? Did you guys know that? Why they had to do the mirror?
Mm-mm.
Can I drop some bombs on you? So they said that in the
I'd love
commentary, they said that demons are vain. And when they put the mirror in front of the demon, the demon saw
that.
itself. Yeah. Oh, he does. I didn't hear him say it. But yeah. He says that in the movie?
Yeah, no, when he's whispering to the girl, he says, "Peekaboo, you vain bastard."
Oh, yeah. So my question about the mirror is when he's trying to shove it through, why didn't they just tilt it a little?
No time. There's no time.
I mean,
There's no time.
He spends so much effort trying to ram it through in a straight fashion. If they just tilted it a little, it could have gone through that.
But that was the help he had.
Yeah.
Right? They did what they could. That one dude's hair turns silver. And then they just kind of...
one rule, don't open your eyes. And 30 seconds in, the guy's like, no, I'll make my own rules. And well,
got a new hairstyle. But yeah, so maybe it's just the help.
I don't know. I feel like Constantine could have got under it, smashed it up with a shoulder, and the thing would have gone right out.
Yeah, but it looked cooler, I guess, the way they did it.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, and you don't want to risk breaking that mirror inside the room because then the demon's there with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Hey, so we got a listener question, and it's by Tom Tresemere, and he wrote, "Why is he so badass? Is it the character, or is it Keanu?"
I think it's the character. Like, Constantine is written as one of, like, the most badass guys in the DC universe.
Now, from what I read in the comic books, he really had agency, right? In the comic books, he could do more. But in this one, as Gabriel said, he was effed because he committed suicide. It's a mortal sin, but then he went to hell, but then he knows there's a God, so he can't have true faith. So he basically has no agency, right? But in DC, the character had agency.
Yeah, no, this is early on. This is early Constantine we're watching here.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think it's issues 10 through 16 of his first run is this movie.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he has a whole more backstory. He gets more involved with like Dr. Fate and Swamp Thing. But I think again they were limited in this movie that they can't give his entire rich backstory because they don't have rights to all the characters that are there.
So you want to hear something cool about that beginning scene with the mirror?
I'd love to hear something cool about it.
The close-up shot with the cigarette where it's sitting on the dresser smoking. He puts it down because he's going to come back for it later, clearly.
Yeah.
The director didn't have a lens that could focus that tight, so they had a fake cigarette the size of a cigar, and they shot it from a distance, creating the illusion of a normal cigarette.
And that was the moment they realized they could make a good Lord of the Rings movie.
I mean,
first perspective.
I mean, that's like, yeah, it was just, I think this director, and also, I'm surprised, this movie, $100 million budget, which is insane, because I don't know where the $100 million went on this movie.
To Keanu's pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't it make like 250 though? Didn't it like more than double its profit?
230 million worldwide. So even if you take half of the amount for, you say half the budget for marketing, 150 million, right?
Right.
It still pulled in 80, which would justify a sequel. So it's kind of a surprise. But I mean, I guess by the time a sequel would have come around, I mean, that's when the PG-13 craze really started, because Blade Trinity died a bad death, and then Iron Man and Dark Knight's PG-13 really took off.
Well, weren't they going for an R with this movie, and they were given a PG-13?
Oh, they were going for a PG-13, and they got an R. So he wishes he would have gone more extreme with it.
That's true.
That'd be crazy.
Here in Canada, it's 14A.
Oh, 14A?
Oh, my.
You make an R-rated movie, right? Just a crazy one. You're like, yeah, you get a PG-13. I'd be like, what? I would love it.
Yeah.
But,
but also, like, people hated this movie.
Yep.
Like, it made money, but it got, like, such a bad fan reaction. Again, because it's the British and the blonde thing, that people hated it. And I know that there was, like, a religious backlash to it as well. Because, like, I'm in that circle. I didn't backlash against it, but people saw it, and, like, the Catholic Church didn't love this movie, and they almost lost the fact that it's a fictional movie about fictional characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that online.
But it's like Spider-Man lives in New York, but that's like a fictional New York. It's not the real New York. So like Constantine deals with like demons in the Catholic Church, but it's not like the real Catholic Church. But people got really, really offended by it. So I think that that was another thing the studio's like, we just don't want to have that kind of heat come down on us.
Is this the first time that fanboys and like outside people have both hated a movie?